We just want to love you! You can't escape us, Issei! You're ours!
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Was Hunted by Multiple DxD Yandere Girls Part 1. Before we start, please go support Tanjiro Kamid for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken characters' gender, but of course Issei is a male. This will be one-shot stories of different Yandere DxD girls' life for Issei. Gremory Rivers Beyond. She likes to watch you all the time, she uses her familiar to observe you. He spoils you too much, he gives you quite luxurious gifts. When you were killed by a fallen, she revived you as her second pawn. She doesn't like it when you don't pay attention to her, she just wants it for herself. Keep the club girls from getting close to you. Is that why Asia disappeared? He has killed girls who flirt with you at the academy. I kill Razor, so I can marry you. He makes you food, don't ask where you live or how he got in, because he has several ways. Use your personality to your advantage. If you have a partner, well, maybe he or she is with the biblical god. Your desserts are delicious, the problem is what you put in them, maybe you sleep too much. He acts like a whim if you're not by his side. Show off to the girls that now that she has you, you are unattainable to them now. They do a lot of cosplay together, more than duos. When you found out about everything she did, you tried to escape, but she had given you something to eat, which caused you to faint, and she kidnapped you. He tortures you using the energy of destruction, under the guise of being a fair punishment for trying to escape. Always use Asia's twilight healing to heal yourself and continue with the physical mental torture. As you continued to resist, he got tired and decided to use a mind control spell. Now you will love me for eternity, my Fyink. Akeno Himejima Yandere. He likes to watch you from afar, sometimes he lets himself be seen, he wants you to see that he is there. Eliminate every girl who has the slightest contact with you, but only leave a warning for the club girls. She gets turned on by seeing your scared faces, and you know how sadistic she can be. Jealousy is nothing more than make her angry, and what will happen? His punishments are the worst. I hope you like lightning, because there will be a lot of lightning in his punishments. I kill 3 girls in front of you for flirting with you. He loves watching you sleep, but sleeping with you even more. He likes to bribe you with your favorite food, but this one has a seasoning that will make you sleep literally. He'll look for you in the middle of classes, saying that he needs you at the club. Avoid getting close to his father at all costs, he's afraid the same thing happened to him again. He'll pay more attention to you than to Roz herself. I ask Grayfia for advice on how to win you over. Usually men ask for marriage, but this time it was she who asked for your hand in marriage. Your wedding was the best you've ever had in your life. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl, the problem I don't think either. Fufufu honey, you'll never leave my side, my husband. Xenovia Quarta Yandere. He uses the excuse that you are strong to make children to get closer to you. He loves to leave his mark on your body, he only protects what is his. He loves watching you train. She is very jealous, and she doesn't know how to hide them well. Several girls have disappeared. What a coincidence that the last time they were seen was near you. He learned to cook just because of you. Are you missing clothes? Well, maybe someone has stolen them from you. I force you to have sex with her. Her importance in the Gremory nobility makes her go unnoticed. She watches you when you do missions, she doesn't even do hers so she can see you. When he found out you had a partner, he killed her to kidnap you. I used Durandal to cut your body non-vital areas. While you are kidnapped there, he will tell you about his life together. He will tell you everything he has done for you. My angel, please don't go, I love your children. Koneko is still Yandere. You're the only person he treats his sweets to. You are lucky, you are the only one who smiles. Your lap is his personal seat and he doesn't share it with anyone. They sleep together a lot and she uses your clothes as pajamas. She's jealous of everyone, including your friends. She's bad at cooking, but she likes it and knows how to make desserts. I killed 2 girls who tried to get too close to you. I kill your teacher for taking too much of your time. As punishment for missing a day of school, I hit you too hard, I must have broken some of your bones. I bribe you with my feline form. To one of your favorite desserts, I add something maybe you sleep more than you should. She got angry, she wasn't furious when she saw how a girl kissed you in a declaration, the worst thing you reciprocated. I kidnap you, and the bad thing, I kill that girl in the next room and you heard her scream. They always hit you as punishment, they were non-vital areas, but the last one always went to a vital area. He learned thanks to Akeno how to break you mentally. You were locked up for a year until you broke mentally. They got married, had children, as many as you want. He hit you hard every time you didn't listen to him about something, which was the bad thing. My sweet kitty, don't go, I will always protect you. Well, first of all, sorry to those who were offended by the punches, I saw it in a meme and wanted to do it, please don't fool me. Russian is Bale Gremory. Venelana Gremory and your context of your story. You're a boy who was sold as a slave by the demons, and Venelana bought you and made you her queen. Pampering yourself is what you do 90% of the day. I ask you if you wanted her to be your sugar mommy, you only accepted to be your king. He keeps an eye on you, it's just to keep you safe. She always gives you affection, no matter if it's in front of her husband or not, she'll give it to you anyway. She takes you everywhere she goes, no matter if it's a place where clan leaders enter. Jealousy. One of the biggest you've ever seen. It punishes you for just spending a single second with another woman. He prevents you from getting close to your friends, he just makes sure you don't cheat on him. His punishments can't be that bad, or if uses a dagger with paralysis and complements it with energy of destruction. The other day Zeoticus disappeared and Venelana didn't care why he asked you to marry him. They moved to a house that was in Tannen's old territory, which also surprisingly disappeared. He made you a house husband. And like a good wife she gives you gifts pampering. Please my queen, stay with me forever. Asia Argento Yandere. Context of your story. You are the demon that Asia once cured, and that is why she was kicked out. You looked for her everywhere to tell her that you were grateful for her help. When he saw you again he was so happy, he says it was the best day of his life. He spends 100% of his day by your side. He often argues with Irina over your attention. She cooks too delicious for you. She's jealous, but not to the point of distancing you from everyone, she allows you to be with your friends. She seduces you when they are at your house where you stay, obviously you let her live with you. She can't stand not having your attention. Being a believer in God is good, but forcing you to pray is bad for you, he doesn't care if it gives you headaches. Thanks to Roz and that I paid her a lot, I bought you some gifts. Because of his kind attitude, he can't harm anyone, or if I kill several girls, but I don't use supernatural methods, I use food with poison. With his adorable appearance he manipulates you. I ask you to ask Roz to make you her new piece, more specifically the queen. He watches you sleep a lot, leaving you with the occasional bite on your neck. He punished you really badly when he found out you had a partner. Your partner disappeared, but they found her dead from holy water, she was a demon. I punish you using holy water, crosses, etc. of sacred objects. You lived a long, literally happy life, without worries, or so others thought, although it was true that it was happy, you had many punishments. My sweet demon, why don't go away, I can protect you alone. Grayfia Lucifuge. Grayfia Lucifuge Lucifer Yandere. Context of your story. You are the Mau Lucifer, you replace Serchs in the story, that is, Serchs does exist, he is your younger brother. I met you during the coup d'etat that you and the group you were in carried out. You saved her from being murdered, and she saw in you something she never felt. Since the war ended, you were given the position of Mau Lucifer, and Grayfia became your servant. She was the best maid you had, she was too detailed. They always sleep together. Over time you fell in love and proposed to her. Their wedding was the best they ever had. Over the years she learned how to be the best maid. I always avoided letting the maids get close to you. He got angry when a maid stole a kiss from you, well that's normal, right, but you noticed that maid disappeared. She's cold with everyone, but with you she's different. As a good personal servant, she always goes with you everywhere. 200 years after getting married, Rias was born, and she felt jealous when she saw how you gave him more attention than you did her. Serchs tried to talk to her, but she didn't even respond. Over time he learned why you were quite close to Roz. Several years later his greatest love was born, Rias Gremory. You and she dedicated a lot of time to Rias to avoid a childhood of absent parents. His jealousy was great at your interaction with Serafall Leviathan. Her sanity was broken when she declared her love to you, and you reject her, you don't want to lose everything you had now. Serafall was persistent and kissed you, that made her go crazy, the next day she killed Serafall and used a seal that nullifies magic. He uses the flesh of the girls he kills to cook. You can keep her sane as long as you're with her and don't walk away. Limau, I won't let any bitch come near you. Rossweisse Yandere. Context of your story. You are a nine-tailed yokai Kyubi, you are Yasaka's right hand, but you are not a couple or lover. He met you on his visit with his class, you were looking for Yasaka who had been kidnapped. I invite you to drink so you calm down, I felt like I had to have you close. Drunk, she made a lot of advances towards you, she even kissed you, but you didn't reject her. When the kidnapping happened, she asked Yasaka to go to Kuo Academy, under the pretext that you could study there. Yasaka gladly accepted, you were old enough to go, you were 17. You live with her, she loves lying with you. Jealousy makes him act impulsively, he kills a girl in the room where the materials for physical education are kept. She is very affectionate. He prevents girls from approaching you, he wants to avoid them taking what is his. Brunk is very daring, she doesn't mind touching you without your consent. He uses very daring methods to get you into bed. She uses your tails as a pillow when she's very tired. She takes you everywhere, and when she's not there she uses a stamp as a camera. The other day I heard a girl trying to force you to have hex that made her angry. The last few days girls have been disappearing. They were last seen talking to Rossweisse. Koneko mysteriously disappeared the other day. They found her pierced by a Nordic spear. She saw how you blushed for seeing a girl, that made her angry, and she killed her in the cruelest way. One day when you arrived from the academy you saw that the house was off. When you least expected it someone hit you on the head, which caused you to faint instantly. Calm down, love, from now on you and I will not separate. You woke up in a basement. It looked like Rossweisse's house. She took good care of you, but at first you tried to escape. That made her angry, and she punished you. He would stick spears into your body and leave them there. You were there for a long time. His punishments could be good or bad. The bad guys were either using seals that stole all your energy, leaving you like a doll without being able to move, or using spears to stab you. And the bad ones you got were for not paying attention to him, refusing his food, avoiding him kissing you. The good ones were having kisses, cuddles, your favorite food. When she let you go, they started saying they were a couple. My little fox, from now on you and I would be inseparable. Ernia Yandere. Context of your story. You are an angel who was reincarnated by Gabriel. You have 13 wings. You are considered the new biblical god. He saw you for the first time in heaven, at a meeting of the seraphim. You were accompanying Gabriel. From that moment on he spends his time with you. They always pray together, eat together, and mission together. She worships you as if you were the biblical god. How lucky that Michael invented a spell that prevents falling, otherwise she would have fallen a long time ago. She's jealous and even more so of Gabriel since you're always with her. You are in love with someone else for some reason. Gabriel disappeared a few days ago. He loves it when you pamper him. She thinks a lot about when they get married. When you return injured from a mission, she is the one who heals you. She's quite affectionate with you. Since you are a candidate to be the next leader of the angels, many girls became interested in you. She's not able to hit you. She starts crying when she knows you ended up hurt by her. He puts on your clothes to sleep and they smell a lot. He has an altar with several of your things, including your favorite shirt. He asks you several times, even reminding you that he wants to have her has a date on the weekends. You faced a rather powerful renegade demon. You ended up very injured. That caused her to throw a fit of rage that caused you to take damage. From there she promised to avoid having those fits of rage. Please my god, don't abandon me. I will be your perfect woman. Sona Sitri. Gold Star Yandere. She met you when she started a new year at Kuo Academy and you were starting your second year and she was starting her third year. At first he didn't give you importance, but with time you became his center of interest. I challenged you to a game of age and you won, but you were automatically her fianc. She told you that and you didn't have a problem. You were a little interested in her. It's serious, but with you it's an angel, not literally. He likes to read with you. He joined you on the student council to keep an eye on you. In recent weeks there have been reports of girls disappearing. She doesn't like you being with Rias, she's jealous. I punish you very badly for trying to skip the academy. Their punishments are bad, we could say. To punish you, he puts you in water up to your limit. He likes to make you nervous. You told her you had a girlfriend, but you were going to break up with her. She said it wasn't necessary, she would talk to her. Whenever he can, he eats you with his eyes and you always feel it, but you don't give it importance. He moved into your house under the pretext that since they were getting married, they should get used to each other. He found out that a girl kissed you, he kidnapped you and he beat you until he couldn't anymore, and that left you with trauma. Now you avoid every girl that pleases Sona. My love, please stay away from those bitches. Ravel Phoenix. Ravel Phoenix Yandere. Context of your story. You are the heir of a clan called Frost. They were prodigies in controlling ice, but you were even more so since you were able to combine it with anything, but you combined it with a bold reference to a character. Tell me if you recognized it. You met her at a meeting your parents had with Ravel's parents to discuss a political marriage. They had to start living together a lot until they moved to a mansion called the Fos Territory. She was very attentive and polite, as if she were a queen. She wants to form a happy family with you. She's jealous, but she knows how to hide it perfectly. You are forbidden to leave the mansion where they live. When you sleep, she likes to wear your clothes to sleep. She feels that she sleeps better with them. I murder several maids who tried to be clever. He likes to watch you while you train at the gym. She likes to heal you after you get hurt while training. She knows how to treat you, your likes and dislikes. He found out that you have had a partner the other day. The announcement was made that the Hiderita of a clan disappeared. Every time you disobey her, she punishes you. Use a knife to cut yourself, and with the flames of the phoenix you pass it over the cuts. It was like that for a year until you learned to love her and you finally got married. My beloved fianc is just a lesson for you to learn to respect your fiancé. People here is Ravel's lowly Phoenix, here I have nothing to say so I'm just saying. The next woman will be. I don't know but we will have a vote and they are. Serafall Leviathan. Isaka. Gabriel. Baroka always. Tsubaki Shinra. Rainer Yuma Mono. Choose my little demons, choose your waifumil for the next headcanon. Baroka Taju Yandere. He saw you trained in the forest for the first time. Since that day he always watches you train or be with the animals. First you felt like you were being watched in the forest, now in your house. Your things have been disappearing lately, but you don't give it importance. One day she showed herself, at first you were scared, but then you calmed down. She's overprotective, she doesn't let any girl get close to you. I make it clear to you that you will be her husband and father of her children. Till girls even boys who dare to look at you. He leaves bites on your neck to show that you already have an owner. They spend a lot of time together, it doesn't bother you. She tries in every possible way to get you to the altar. Bali complained that he always disappeared the other day it was said that Sekiryuutei died and that Albion is owned by someone else. Now she feels like she has dragon energy. The other day I saw you talking animatedly with Rossweisse she disappeared the other day. He punishes you really badly you don't want to know how he punishes you. You yelled at him once you were locked up for a whole year. He forced you to propose to him. They got married and had many children half yokai, dragon, fallen angel you are a fallen angel. My love, don't go away you leave me alone with the children. Isaka. Isaka Yandere. You are a Nordic, you accompanied Rossweisse on her trip and you had to rescue the yokai leader that left her completely in love. She looked for a way to keep you close, nothing mattered, she just wanted you close. I cry in front of everyone so you don't leave her, she was the only person I trusted and I didn't want to let you go. Rossweisse had to talk to her and Auden, in the end you would stay there with her. You moved in with her, Kunu was happy to have a father. She spoiled you too much, she helped you with everything you couldn't do. She likes seeing you spend time with Kunu, she's never seen her so happy. He gave orders to his soldiers that no woman can approach you. He takes you on several dates, some without your consent. He lets you sleep on his tails. She is very jealous and when I say very I mean very. My warrior, please don't abandon me for anything in the world. Serafall Leviathan Yandere. You are a boy who asked for an autograph for his niece, she was a big fan of the magical girl. She only saw you as another fan, but over time she began to feel that you were something more. He watches you a lot, he is very careful. I search for all information about you, and I discovered that you are the strongest tower in searches. She spent her free time with you. She uses her magical girl outfit to seduce you. She's jealous don't try to make her jealous, I don't recommend it. He asked searches for a peace exchange, and he accepted without knowing the danger he put you in. He gives you the most luxurious gifts, even gifts that no one could give to someone. She doesn't like it when you disobey her, she punishes you and it's not nice at all. Freezes your legs and creates a spiked whip to whip you. You are now his queen and therefore he takes you to all his meetings as Mao. Once he asked for a vacation and took you to a beach where they spent half a year. He likes to have hours and hours of nap, obviously he forces you. Over time she became pregnant and you decided to take care of the child. They got married and it turned out to be triplets. Don't worry love, your magical girl is here. Ophis Ouroboros Yandere. They met when Vali introduced you to her. She is very curious about you. He thinks you cast a spell because he feels strange things every time you are together. I kill Rizavam so I can make you second in command and keep a closer eye on you. She is very protective, she prevents anyone from getting close to you. One day you woke up in your bed and you saw Ophis next to you and you had a mark on your neck, well it turns out that Ophis had gone into heat and instead of suppressing it as always, she decided to have hex with you and marked you as hers. They go everywhere together, he doesn't want to leave you. He sits on your lap a lot, it's his favorite place to sit. She didn't know what it was like to have the emotion of love and now she thinks she's madly in love with you what she didn't know is that she was obsessed with you. Your mark makes all the girls stay away from you, for some reason she likes your purple dragon tattoo on your neck and the supernatural ones stay away even more, they already know who the mark is from. She visits you whenever she wants, no matter if you are doing something very important, she will come to see you. The other day the Gremory nobility and their king died you were seen nearby before that. The other day you yelled at her and told her you were leaving the Cows Brigade, the news of your disappearance is everywhere. She tortures you with her snakes and strangles you too hard. She used her most powerful spell to enter your mind and break it completely. She created new feelings for you now you're obsessed with her like she is with you. As my second in command you have to stay by my side, your dragon goddess. The Dragonian beauty, this is a request from someone and if you want you can also tell me who you want, obviously it has to be within the DxD universe, okay femmes just ask and I'll give it to you. Gabriel Yandere. You are a supreme class demon who was the right hand of the Mao Beelzebub. You met her at a leaders meeting. She chats a lot with you when everyone is in a meeting. He feels like you are like his father, he won't let you go for anything in the world. She indulged her brother so much that he had to ask you to come to heaven. She is very affectionate and kind to you. Why be an archangel, avoid making her fall, because otherwise she would be a fall. She is jealous and barely knows how to control herself. He gets carried away a lot, he doesn't know how to control his emotions. She always argues with Serafall for your attention, and they even go to greater lengths. She watches you a lot, she won't leave you alone until you're with her. When he found out you had a partner, he's probably with Lucifer. She punishes you, and since you are a demon, that makes the light of the angels affect you. Since she is a kind soul, she makes your punishment less painful. My devil, you know that as the most beautiful archangel in heaven, I must have the most beautiful partner, and that's you. Valerie Lucifer Volley 5 Yandere. The place where they met was at Kuo Academy and at the meeting of the three factions. She just wanted to fight with you, but over time the feeling of fighting disappeared and became something more obsessive. I force you to tell Sona where you lived. He doesn't know how to cook, but he has so much money to take you to the best restaurants. He uses the excuse that he wants to fight so he can be with you. She's jealous she killed her teammates. When he gets angry he takes it out on you, and believe me, it's not pretty at all. You'll almost always find her lying in your bed with your clothes on. She's lazy, she wants you to stay sleeping with her. Albion always told him to leave you, that facing Drake was more important. Lately you don't listen to him anymore. The other day the mating season for dragons started, so she was in heat. After the mating season you were marked by her, now you are hers. When he punishes you, he divides your power until you run out of it, you could no longer move from the powerful blows he gave you. She likes you to watch her fight. She gets nervous when you dominate her. Issei is your friend, she thinks he's a bad influence on you, I think she's got him in her sights. Their biggest dream is to have 2 children. They infiltrated Azazel's laboratory just to have an invention that mentally controls you. Be my emperor, I as your empress will lead the dragons to the top. Issei Haidu Issei Fem Yandere. She was the #1 pervert, no one approached her, but you did, that lit the spark. She harasses you a lot, you don't give it importance. She spends all her time with you, even outside of school. She joined Ria's nobility, now she asks her for advice on how to win you over. She's jealous but not that much, she knows where the limits are. He flirts with you too much. On several occasions he tried to make a pass at you and you didn't say anything to him. During her mating season, she does everything she can to try to grape you, but thanks to Rias you are saved. Train hard so you can protect yourself from all women, even your friends. Lately the girls are dying and they all had contact with you. You discovered that you were a descendant of Great Red, that caused all the supernatural women to become interested in you. After the war against Trihexa she rose to Supreme Class Devil, guess who was her first piece? You declared your love to her and she accepted with great happiness, now you are hers. Honey is a war heroine, I deserve an award no. Hamid Yandere. You met her at the exam to become Dragon King, obviously you passed it, but someone was smitten by your great abilities, that was Tiamat. She knew something, and that was that she had to eliminate the competition, and she would do it at any cost. You were promoted to Dragon King, so she had to train you, that was the perfect opportunity for her. They usually spend all their time together. Girls approach you a lot, it makes her angry. She killed many girls, obviously she was careful hiding the evidence. She found out you had a partner, the news broke that the cadre Penemu was brutally incinerated. You cried and cried for days, she was there for you, but this is just part of her plan. She had made a plan to have you, the first part was to kill your partner, the second part was to comfort you and make you gradually give all your trust, the third part was to declare herself, and if you didn't accept her, she would kidnap you to break you. The second part was going well little by little until you had given him all your trust. She had taken you to a special place where she had planned to confess. She confessed to you, but you only saw her as a teacher and rejected her. The last thing you saw before falling unconscious was her smiling grimly. You woke up in an abandoned castle. She had kidnapped you and that's where your torture began. She used her blue fire to burn your arms. You were there for almost 2.5 years until finally you broke. The bad thing about being broken is she the dominant one, bad or good. You proposed to her and she tearfully accepted. They got married and lived together for the rest of eternity. Oh my Dragon King, come on, you mustn't escape from your queen. You are one of the most powerful and recognized sorcerers in the world for carrying one of the most powerful spells called Soul Chain Deathmatch. Your appearance was. She's a huge fan of yours, to a point an obsessive fan. They met at a tournament where she was participating and you were invited to watch. She almost won and her biggest wish came true, and that was to be your wife. You searched for the perfect partner for years and she was it. What a bad decision. You took her home and told her why you loved her. His skills were what impressed you the most, along with his way of acting, they captivated you. You don't realize it, but she usually stays awake watching you sleep. She's possessive, she doesn't let any woman get close. He's killed thousands of girls who wanted something with you. I wouldn't let you walk away. He steals your clothes and starts smelling them. They usually bathe together. You usually take her everywhere. You are jealous of what is yours. They're quite proud, and you were even more so having La Fay with you. You take her to all the most luxurious places you knew. You wanted your future wife to have a good time. In the war against the Cows Brigade, you were the one who stood out the most since you faced the Trihexa alone. When she found out that you were facing Trihexa, she tried to go, but they didn't let her. He usually helps you in the office. You have a lot of paperwork. When the year was about to end, you and she got married. I killed all your students. I didn't want my husband to be unfaithful to her. I train in dark magic. I would protect you at all costs. He made a pact with Ophis in exchange for power. And so they lived for millions of years, having several children over the years. My fire wizard, please let us live together for eternity. Shuri Himejima Yandere. Context of your story. You are a prodigy who uses the lightning element. You are someone who loves to fight. You have a transformation. They met when you saved her from some fallen angels. She offered you to live with her. You had lost your house because of some demons. At first you were just a boy who became her friend, but with the passage of time and several things she became crazy about you. Even though you seem like a messy boy who doesn't care about anything, you helped around the house and even got a job. You usually sleep with her. Why doesn't she let you sleep on the couch? As a way of paying her, you protect her home. You have faced everything from simple renegades to evil dragons. She usually takes you to her family gatherings, where her father tests you to see if you are worthy of being her partner. You never saw her as anything more. He usually looks for ways to attract you, and lately he gets angry for not getting your attention. If you went down to his basement, you would notice there are too many photos of you there. The other day you faced a fallen angel, and not just anyone, it was a cadre. Over time you began to fall in love until you became a couple, and you had a daughter. Her name was Akeno and she controlled lightning like you. The Gabriel tried to kill Shuri, but you managed to save her, but you arrived too late and she ended up injured. Akeno walked away from you, and with an unconscious Shuri, they didn't see each other for years. You became an angel in Michael's service. You are known as the Angel of Lightning. Shuri searched for you for years until one of your missions they met again. In her years of searching, she killed several women who talked about you. You know what he did when he saw you. If I kidnap you, I would throw lightning at you for several months as a form of punishment. She was really angry, but she was more angry with Akeno. That girl had separated you from her. Seriously, my Raido, you will abandon your wife and daughter. Brainuma Yandere. Context of your story. You are a player from Italy and you pretend to be called Paolo Bianchi, captain of the Italian national team called Orpheus, and that day you would play against Japan. Your appearance. They met the day before the game. She asked you for an autograph. After the match against Inazuma Japan they met again. They saw each other very often, until at one point they declared their love to each other. They started a relationship and it turned out to be very toxic. I wouldn't let you leave your house unless it was for gamer training. Doesn't allow anyone except your teammates to get close. You wonder where she goes every weekend. One day you went out without his permission and it was only to buy something. I'm just saying, be strong. When you were coming back from training, some girls flirted with you. Somehow they found out and you didn't have a good time. He forced you to delete all the girls from your social networks. She forces you to sleep with her. The other day you followed her. You discovered that she was a fallen angel. Lately girls have been disappearing and they all had contact with you. You tried to escape but she cut off your foot. She had to use a spell to regenerate your leg. The two of you were unconscious for a week due to the energy drain. You were afraid of her. She always got angry about everything. He always got mad at you for doing something wrong or not listening to him. She was manipulative. Every time you told her you were going to break up, she said that without you she would commit suicide. I use a forbidden spell from the fallen angels to make you immortal with her, so you can live thousands of years together and never separate. My love, for your own good you are forbidden to leave me. One shot Rossweisse Yandere. Beginning of one shot. In Kyoto it was night, the city lights were on, people were walking, shopping or eating around. But on the roofs you could see a dark figure passing by at high speed. Something that could be noticed was that it had 9 fox tails, along with 2 fox ears. He wore black clothes along with his black hair and black tails, blue eyes and finally a light blue scarf. The boy had a katana on his back. He was running at full speed looking in all directions searching for something or someone until he stopped and decided to take a breath. This was a nine-tailed yokai Kyuubi, also being Yasaka's right hand, but she had disappeared a few days ago, and both you and Kunu had started a search. You were currently searching for her at night, maybe you would find something faster, but you realized something. As Yokai Kyuubi was accompanied by 5 people, 4 girls and a boy, you felt that 3 were demons, one of those demons had dragonic energy, another was an angel, and finally the oldest, and the one that caught your attention the most was a Nordic. But you didn't care and were going to continue with the search, but a crew yokai arrived to tell you that you had to go to the Asaka temple to talk to the leader of the fallen along with the Mao Leviathan. You nodded. When you arrived you first saw the same boys as before with Azazel, the leader of the fallen angels, and at his side was Serafall the Mao Leviathan. In the meeting they talked about Yasaka's disappearance. You spoke instead of Kunu, since she had fallen asleep on your lap, you were like a father to her, but in the meeting you noticed how the Nordic woman kept looking at you with a blush. You didn't care and continued with the meeting, but no matter how hard you tried to ignore it, you couldn't. In the end, everyone decided to look for the leader of the Yakais together. Time skip. You walked through the streets of Kyoto, the night was bright and you wanted to relax. In all the time that Yasaka was missing, you had to take charge of the faction. You were currently walking without paying attention to your surroundings, but someone suddenly grabbed your shoulder, causing you to throw a punch at the person's face, but stopped a few seconds before. You noticed who it was the Nordic woman who had been surprised by the Kyuubi boy's reaction. "What are you doing here?" you asked confused. The girl got nervous about the situation, but tried to calm down to say. "It's just that as you saw we are just visiting, but I don't know the place and I was wondering if you could guide me and at the same time I could invite you to a drink," she said, nervously looking at you so that you would think for a few seconds before saying anything. "It's okay, but please don't appear so suddenly, you could end up hurt or worse dead," you said, seriously starting to walk back where you were going, and she just sighed to follow you. Time skip 1 bar. At the bar there were 2 people, you being a little drunk along with the now known as Rossweisse who was totally drunk. "Rossweisse, let me see if I understood you. When you were a child your parents abandoned you, and when you turned 13 Yasaka found you and you started living with her," said the girl confused while you nodded, and she just felt sorry for you. Rossweisse, "But well, the past is not the past, but what is truly important is not the now, and I think you should enjoy it, and I will help you fufufu," she said seductively to you who did not care about being in your thoughts. That frustrated Rossweisse a little, but then she smiled. "Rossweisse, oh I know how to relax you, and I've noticed how stressed you are, and I'll help you," she said smiling, starting to approach you, and you didn't realize because you were a little drunk, but when you turned around to ask. She had given you a kiss, something deep inside you told you to move away, and that's what you tried, but she held you tightly so little by little you gave in to her, and she did what she wanted with your mouth. She stuck her tongue in, she bit your lips, and she kept going and going until she couldn't hold her breath anymore. When you separated you noticed how hearts appeared in his eyes, but you thought it was the effects of the alcohol. Time skip 1 day. In Yasaka's office she was caressing her daughter who wouldn't stop hugging her. You were behind her watching the scene with a smile. Kunu was with her the whole time since the kidnapping ended. But someone knocked on the door and Yasaka let him in, revealing Rossweisse who was blushing and looking at you. "Yasaka, what brings you here?" Rossweisse said the yokai leader calmly to her who only sighed to say. "Rossweisse, I wanted to ask if can come with us to Kuo to have the appropriate studies for her age, she still has time," said nervously and desperately. Yasaka remained silent thinking, well you just prayed to everyone not to go to school, hahaha, who doesn't? It's more I'm at school doing this. Yasaka, okay, I accept, she said, happy for you while you were just insulting the 7 winds, and Yasaka knew that, and a malicious smile looking at you as you looked at the ground. Rossweisse, okay Yasaka-sama, now I'll take care of the paperwork, she said happily and bowed to Yasaka and skipped out of the room. A few days later. Was seen next to Rossweisse entering a house, or is it better to say a bucking mansion. Rossweisse showed him her room being the one she said she would sleep with him. You asked her why she couldn't sleep in the others. But he just did one action and that's it. But behind him you noticed a figure just like Rossweisse's and her eyes lit up like red. You just shut up and quickly went into the room to put your things away, but Ross pushed you onto the bed to throw himself on top of you and fall asleep. And so it all began. They got you into Kuo Academy and in no time you became famous, all the girls wanted something with you. But the other day something happened and it was this. Of Rossweisse. I was walking to the living room to see my little fox, but lately the girls have been getting too close to him, but I think I should do something to stop them. In front of me I saw a very particular scene. In Pav Rossweisse. In front of Rossweisse were you and a girl unknown to Rossweisse, but we focused on them. Hey, this senpai, can I ask you something, the girl said nervously to you who nodded with doubt so that the girl breathes Ondo and says or rather shouts. I would like to go out with me, I shout nervously towards you who remained silent for a few seconds to say. I'm sorry but I can't, you're not my type, but what if we were friends, you said calmly, so that she sadly agreed, but at least she had the opportunity to be your friend, and she said goodbye happily. But another person wasn't, her veins were visible from anger, but in her eyes they looked like she was dead. She wouldn't let her little fox do it, so she acted, she called the girl to come. And so he could kill her. In the room where they keep the materials for physical education was the girl who declared herself in, Rossweisse had called her to that place. Rossweisse-sensei called me, she said nervously, because everything was dark, she couldn't see anything, she wondered why her sensei had summoned her to that place, but suddenly a light in the distance turned on, and Rossweisse's back was shown. Ugh, I was already scared, Rossweisse-sensei, why did you stop me? He said, calming down and starting to get closer, but when he least expected it, a spear pierced his stomach and he bled from his mouth. When he looked up, he saw Rossweisse, who only said, Rossweisse, this is what happens to you for approaching what is mine, she said with a sweet smile that changed to a dark one. The girl just said before falling to the ground dead. Senpai will never love you, she said with a muffled voice to fall to the ground dead, while Rossweisse looked at her coldly to just say, Rossweisse, if you don't do it I'll teach you how to do it, she said with a monotonous face to set it on fire with a spell and walk away from the place. After that, the physical education materials room burned down completely and only the incinerated body of the girl was recovered, but the culprit was never found. Now we find Rossweisse hugging you, and you didn't say anything, you just let yourself be hugged, while your foxtails moved happily, it was a way of knowing that you were happy to receive that kind of affection. We are shown another scene where you walk next to an angry Rossweisse, since several girls flirted with you in front of her and she only pulled you away from them. Currently, you were tidying up the house, it seemed as if Rossweisse had made you a housewife, but you didn't care, the truth is you didn't have anything to do, your friends the Gremory nobility were busy and you didn't know what to do, so you took the opportunity to tidy up. But you heard the door open, when you went to look, you saw Rossweisse drunk and staggering, when she was about to fall you caught her in time. When she saw you she smiled at you, but you didn't expect her next action, which was to kiss you, this surprised you a lot, and when you were going to separate, she put her hands inside your clothes. That surprised you more and at the same time it made you nervous, and they stayed like that for several minutes. Until she finally left you. Rossweisse, you fufu, what's wrong love, you didn't like my kisses, she said flirtatiously towards you, making you nervous, and you just looked away, that made her smile even more. Ross-chan, calm down, it's the effects of alcohol, you said extremely nervous, so that she only smiled even more looking at you. Rossweisse, I don't think so, Kun, I feel like myself, but what if we go to bed and I show you sitting down, she said with a lustful smile, but suddenly she fell asleep in your arms and you just sighed, calming your nerves of the moment. And you started to take her to the living room. Time skip. Now we see Rossweisse sleeping in your tails while you were reading a yakai book, 2 hours had passed since the previous event. The girl was asleep the whole time and you didn't want to interrupt her dreams since she was very stressed lately and you wanted her to rest. The next day. You were led by the arm by Ross, who walked trying to avoid all the girls possible, he was angry with all the girls who even asked for the time, he didn't want to waste a single second with you. But she heard a girl talking about you, so she asked you to go to the salon without her because she had something to do and forgot. When you left she stood behind the wall to listen to the girl talking to another girl. Girl 1, hey, tell me seriously, are you going to force to have Hex? She said hesitantly so the other girl would nod. Girl 2, yes, since my boyfriend was unfaithful to me with that bitch, then I will also be unfaithful to him with a cute boyfriend, I've had my eye on him for a while, and he would be a good boyfriend, better than that idiot, she said mockingly to her boyfriend, but Ross was exploding with anger that he felt and thought. Ross was, damn bitch, who do you think you are to say that, my Kun will never be your boyfriend, I will never allow it, she thought, shouted angrily, but faked a smile to get out of her hiding place. Ross was, oh there you are, I've been looking for you everywhere, could you come with me? She said happily to the girl who nodded to follow her, but when they got to a room, Ross just stuck a knife in the girl's stomach, who couldn't react. Girl Rossweisse-sensei, why are you doing this to me, she said, spitting blood and falling to her knees, and Rossweisse just laughed slowly, starting to move her bloody knife, she said. Rossweisse, for a simple reason, you were going to take what was mine, and I wouldn't allow that, she said happily, and the girl only stayed with the scene of Rossweisse moving her knife. And Rossweisse continued killing girls who wanted something with you without anyone finding out. But the woman noticed how you were getting very close to Koneko lately, so she also acted. The Nekomata was found pierced by a Nordic spear, and no one knew who it was. You cried for losing your best friend, and who was there for you, that's right, Rossweisse. Now you were walking alone to the classroom, Ross had gone to talk to the other teachers about some things. When someone approached you, when you saw her you blushed, but you didn't notice that Rossweisse was watching you from afar. When you saw her, the first thing you did was run away. I was an idiot, you had gotten nervous. Rossweisse, I was angry, very angry. Something that had to be highlighted is that they were in a place where no one passed by. The girl was angry, but when she just decided to leave, she had a cut on her neck, and when she saw the guilty person, it was Rossweisse with an axe in hand. Girl why what she said, falling to the ground completely dead, she hadn't been able to do anything. Rossweisse just threw the axe on the ground and went straight to the bathroom, but before she lit it, she caught the body along with the axe, she wouldn't leave any evidence. The next day. Rossweisse had been absent today while you were going to the academy, you missed her today, you had seen her well today, but well it didn't matter now you were returning home, today physical education was more demanding with you. When you opened the door you saw everything was off, you were surprised, but you thought Ross had fallen asleep and left the lights off. When you were reaching the stairs you received a blow to the head and fell to the ground, you saw Rossweisse with a bat in her hands. And he is alone, he said. Calm down, love, from now on you and I will not separate. When you woke up you were in a basement and after a few seconds you realized it was Rossweisse's, but you saw that you were chained to the wall, you tried to get free, but you couldn't in any way. This is how that hell began for you. She punished you first for what happened the day before by stabbing you with spears all over your body, but not in vital areas. After that, time passed and depending on whether you listened to him or not, you received a good punishment or a bad one. At first you received bad punishments because you didn't want to pay attention to him, you prevented him from kissing you, or if he got too angry he used a seal that left you like a doll, without being able to move any limb of your body. But after a while you received the good one since you started paying attention to him, returning his kisses, accepting his food, etc. And you received many kisses for behaving well, he gave you cuddles that you gladly accepted, he always made you your favorite food, and if you behaved well all week, you would have sexual relations. Lemon skipped. Yandere Leviathan Yandere. Background of your story. You are a spirit known as Jack Frost, a ghost yokai with the ability to use ice and wind to your advantage, and you have 5,000 ghostly years of life. They met in a forest when it was winter, you skated on the frozen water, she believed in you, so she could see you. For years, every winter she would go to see you, she believed that you are the perfect person to be her husband. She showed herself to you, she told you that she had been watching you since she was a child, she was currently 20. Over time they became closer until they became good friends, but no she wanted much more. They met every day until one day she didn't show up. You felt like I abandoned you and you never returned to that lake. It turned out that in the underworld there was a civil war between the children of the original mass and the resistance. She was forced to participate and couldn't go see you. During the war one heard several girls say that they had seen you or that they spoke to you, and at that moment her body, heart and mind said that she would kill them, and she listened and killed them. After the war ended and she escaped, she went to see you, but you weren't there. Seconds pass after the sixth piece of information. For years he searched for you and his sanity little by little was breaking. He found you, he saw you flying over an area of Japan set in ancient times, and you were running against a giant rabbit. They came face to face, both not knowing how to react. When you wanted to leave, she didn't let you. You didn't want to remember her, but she didn't want you to forget her, she didn't want her husband to forget her. He follows you, and everywhere he goes he doesn't want to lose sight of you. She says that you will help her so that the Leviathan blood does not become extinct. Considering her personality, you're surprised that she's affectionate. She loves lying on top of you. He tends to pamper you a lot, it's like your servant and master. Whenever she's stressed or angry, she usually combs your hair, it's the softest she's ever felt. The other day he saw you talking to a girl, they'll be waiting for you for several hours at the hospital. Every time she's really angry she leaves you all hurt, one of these days she'll break a bone. She uses Leviathan clan spells to torture you for disobeying her. One day you were tortured by her all day long. Oh love, 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 you can't go away, I'll always find you. Yandere Yandere. Context of your story. You are one of the best bounty hunters, you have never failed, you are someone very well known in the supernatural world. She was going to hire you at Kakabiel's request. I was going for one thing and ended up doing something totally different, falling in love with you even more. She was one of your many admirers, she knew each and every one of your exploits. When she met you in person for the first time she got nervous. You thought it was going to be another normal request, but you ended up in a whole issue. For her it was the happiest day of her life. She now says that you are her property and will let you go easily. She is overprotective, she doesn't want her partner to be unfaithful to her. The punishments are either two, there is no middle ground, or they are very very exciting or very terrifying, I'm not saying anything else. He loves to make you nervous, ever since he discovered how to get you like that he hasn't stopped. Sitting on your lap is the thing he loves to do the most. She loves it when you dominate her. The other day he saw how Rainer was with you, she appeared with her head pierced by a spear. He likes to hold your hands, they are soft. He's a monster with your feelings, he doesn't let you go out to play soccer. Love, stop with those bitches and let's go to bed, I'm not finished yet. Tsubaki Shinra Yandere. They met when you joined the student council, from that moment she was in love with you. He spends more time with you than with Sona. Sona is happy for her, so she helps her in everything she can to win you over. He found out you had a partner, the Shinigami must have already taken her. He fell in love more when you told him he had very beautiful eyes, even if he had heterochromatic eyes. She is very, and when I say very, she is very jealous. She does not let you get close to anyone, only she can have your attention, and no one else can have it. She likes to read books with you because when you fall asleep she can see your face, from time to time she has given you 1 or 2 kisses. She moved in with you since you live alone and I notice how depressed you feel about it. I didn't want to involve you in the supernatural world, but you already knew it. You were a well-known assassin who called himself Alter. You used to go out of the house a lot and that made Tsubaki very angry. I only allowed you to go out if it was just an important mission. When you returned from a mission, she noticed that you had a cut on your neck. He got so angry that he knocked you out and chained you up in the basement. He would cut you or stab you with daggers in some part of your body, non-vital areas. It was like that every time you were unfaithful to him. And for years it was like this until one day you died. During those years she blamed herself for not turning you into a demon, but 29 years after your death she saw a child, and that child was you. I kill her after several years we meet again. Himejima Yandere. Context of your story. You are a member of a nearly extinct clan of dragons, they were called the Night Fury. Your mother was from the clan, and your father was a fallen angel. They met when the factions wanted to create an alliance with the dragons, you were the representative of your clan. In the alliance there was a political marriage, and guess who you're marrying? Yes, Himejima. At first, since she didn't know you, she didn't want to, but when she got to know you, something told her that she wouldn't leave you for anything in the world. They moved into a house in your territory. You usually come home stressed from work, and she's there to cuddle you. He usually makes your food. At first he cooked badly, but over time he learned. Before you go to work for the first time, he tells you if you are unfaithful to me, you won't like it at all. From that moment on, for some reason, you don't usually help to work with any woman. Don't buck with me, woman, like forcing him to dress up as a maid will ruin his masculinity. Woman, now to dress him as a cat is being overconfident. It's normal to take you to a church before you get married. Well, for her, yes, why does she take you every now and then? Dude, the other day you got drunk with Azazel, Auden provoked you to do something you didn't want and she found out. What color do they want the flower? As punishment, he would stick all kinds of spears, swords, knives, etc. in you, and the worst part is that they had poison and paralyzing agents. They were getting married in half a week and I'll take you all over the mall looking for a white dress for her. Wow, how delicious are the desserts. They are so delicious that they make you dream literally. The other day there was news that 3 girls were found dead, one had a spear through her skull, another had her stomach opened by a sword, and another with her legs torn off, and they all knew you. Your wedding was one you will never forget. The years passed and you learned, or rather were forced to learn, how to please her. They had a daughter who took after her mother and she fell in love with a boy from her class. How sad is life, right? By Dragon-kun, just let yourself be pampered. One shot. Asia Argento Yandere. Beginning of the one shot. In Japan, in the well-known city of Kuo, a boy could be seen walking through the streets at night. He was wearing black clothes, several purple belts, and a cape. This was none other than who walked carefree through the dark night. And when you were about to cross the street, you had to jump dodging an attack and ended up on top of a light pole, seeing a renegade demon, but with deformities in his body. His paws were those of a lion, his arms were those of an eagle, he had a dragon's tail, and from the waist up was a girl who smiled crazily. It's funny how today the renegades come to me as if I were a magnet and you were the metal, you said monotonously to dodge the renegade's dragon tail falling in front of the renegade. He smiled to open his mouth, making a purple magic circle so that a ray came out. You just raised your hand to summon a kind of purple flower that blocked the attack. When the brain attack hit you, you didn't notice the renegade behind you who with a blow sent you crashing into an abandoned building. You came out upset and took out a katana from your cape. You already made me angry, now I'm serious, I have something important to do, you said seriously, and darkness began to come out of your katana, moving your hair. The renegade roared to launch himself at you, you prepared to attack. When he was a few steps away, you launched a horizontal slash, cutting the renegade, who fell to the ground, beginning to disappear into particles. You kept your katana in its sheath that was on your back like Sasuke's. To give you an idea. When you were about to leave where you had planned to go, you felt several energies facing a larger one. You stayed still until you felt the energy of a person. You smiled grimly to break the ground and take a great leap in the direction of the energies. Elsewhere, the group could be seen, and they were none other than the Gremory group, who were facing a renegade who wasn't that big, but his energy was. The renegade looked like an ant walking on 2 legs. When he was about to attack and Issei was preparing a dragon shot, something fell in the middle of the opponents. It was you who looked around, but when you saw a blonde with emerald eyes you smiled back grimly to look at the renegade who didn't expect anything and threw himself at you. You also launched yourself, taking out your katana, colliding his forearm with your weapon, starting a fight. Both of them attacked at great speed, and neither of them managed to land a hit cut. Their opponent was just as fast. The first to manage to land a blow was the renegade who hit your stomach, making you step back. You decided to get serious and throw several cuts. Darkness magic black slash, you said, seriously, launching several cuts at high speed and without stopping, and the renegade only managed to dodge, and when he was going to launch himself for you, you appeared above him and tried to cut him in half, but he managed to grab the blade of the katana with both hands. You got a little nervous and in a moment of desperation to get away, you headbutted him, and both of you were stunned. But the renegade, who now I'm bored and I'm going to call him by his real name, Baru. Jump, opening a pair of wings staying in the air, you came out of your daze, you looked where Baru was, you closed your eyes so that in a few seconds there were several, all launched in a black wake for everyone to scream. Meteorite mirror, you screamed loudly and all you approached at great speed, but Baru barely managed to dodge them until you appeared in front of you and everything happened in slow motion. You were with your katana ready to cut Baru in half, he was just surprised, you were too fast for him to do anything. And so you cut Baru, then he fell to the ground disappearing into particles, and when he touched the ground he disappeared completely. And you fell in front of Asia, who got scared to cover her eyes waiting for the imminent, but seconds passed, she uncovered her eyes to look down, seeing how you were kneeling as if you were a knight. She had gotten confused and when she was going to speak you spoke. Thank you said with a voice that denoted gratitude. Everyone there was confused why she said thank you to Asia, but the one who was most confused was her, Asia. Asia, why are you saying thank you to me, the one who, she said nervously, but you interrupted her saying. I wanted to thank you for what you did when you saved my life, you said with a respectful tone to her, who at the moment didn't understand anything, but after a few seconds she realized what I was talking about. Asia, it really is you, she said happily and a little nervous towards you, who just nodded. Yes, it's me, I've been looking for you everywhere, I wanted to thank you for saving me from certain death, you said with a happy smile, but the rest of the Gremory group were confused by the situation. Issei, Asia-chan, who is this guy, said the brown-haired girl, jealous at your interaction with the blonde who was smiling. Asia, Issei-san, he is the demon that I once told you I cured, and that's why I was kicked out of the church, she said happily, so that everyone was surprised, but even more so Rias when she realized who you were. Rias, wait, you are from the clan, your last name, she said, surprised by your presence, and everyone, except you, looked at her strangely, because of what the Redeed said. Xenovia President, you know him, said the former believer of God with doubt, so that she nodded firmly, so that you just smiled. Rias, his clan is recognized for having a great participation in the war, being that his first Heterito faced Trihexa himself, and seriously damaging him. They have great control over the darkness, apart from being prodigies, but he is the best without a doubt, he has never lost a single fight. He has perfect control over his magic that is capable of creating portals to wherever you want, and among many other things he said to make everyone sweat cold. If you were evil, you would be a great danger to people, but luckily you are good. Rias, but leaving that aside, what are you doing here, she said seriously, so that you just smiled nervously. I just came to thank Asia-chan for healing me that time, and that Valerie Lucifer and Leviathan sent me to protect you and Sona, since lately there are many renegades, and it is believed that it is something from the Cows Brigade, you said nervously at first, but then serious, looking at Rias, who nodded, but saw how Asia smiled sweetly at you, but did not give it importance. It could not be anything bad. Or. If. Time skip. You can be seen walking through the streets of Kuo. It was already day and you were bored, you had nothing to do, since the entire Gremory group was at Kuo Academy, and you didn't want to return to the academy. Since you finished it at 12, you were quite intelligent, but well now, you were walking through a park, but something was obvious, you felt watched from all sides. That person who watches you does not leave you alone, and that is starting to bother and scare you, but you knew how to keep your emotions under control. But you remembered how Asia said yesterday that it was the best day of her life, she was so happy to see you, she moved to the house that Rias gave you, the two of you sleep in the same bed. But you saw an ice cream stand in the distance, so you went there and for a moment you felt the energy of that person, but when you turned to see where that person was, he was no longer there. But you didn't notice that in a building in the distance was a certain girl with blonde hair and her characteristic emerald eyes from Minecraft. Sorry, I had to say it. She was watching you with a smile and in front of the railing and crouching down with her hands resting on her face, she smiled grimly. Asia, they're my beautiful and precious, finally together like that time when I cured you and took care of you, but I wonder why you abandoned me that time, she said with a loving tone at first, and then a cold tone, watching the boy walk while drinking his ice cream without worries. Time skip. We see in the occult club, we see the entire Gremory group, but everyone was silent watching how Asia was feeding you, some were uncomfortable, others jealous, etc. Issei was boiling with jealousy and anger, as was a certain orange-haired girl Irina. She's already tired of all that, she got up to approach the two, and in an unexpected moment for both of them, Angel took the boy's arm pulling him away, this angered Asia who also took your other arm. Asia, what are you doing, Irina? Don't you see that I'm feeding San? She said angrily, surprising everyone. No one imagined seeing Asia angry about something. Irina, yes, but you've had him for too long, I'm also his friend, and I have the right to be with him, so you don't monopolize all his attention, she said angrily, and her wings flashed between black and white, scaring everyone, but Asia didn't care. "Hey girls, could you please pause," you said, but you were interrupted. "Irina, Asia, you shut up," they both said angrily, so that you would just shut up, they were both starting to scare you, and they looked at each other furiously, and almost started hitting each other. "Rias, you two leave and you, Irina, go to heaven, Michael Sama needs you," he said with his patience at the limit, looking at the two who reluctantly let him go, and he fell to the ground, without being able to process what happened. "Perhaps two women were fighting over me, I don't know whether to feel fear or joy," you thought nervously, seeing how Asia muttered angrily, looking at Rias who didn't pay attention to her. You sat back down next to Asia who just looked at you to grab the bento, to grab a bit and bring it to your mouth so you could receive it with pleasure. It's delicious, Asia-chan, you said happily, eating the bite she gave you, she was happy about that. A few days later in your new house. You were in your room lying down a little bored, Asia was downstairs cooking something to eat, a while ago you had spoken with one of your spies in the Cows Brigade. "Asia, let's eat," she shouted with a funny voice. You didn't care and put on your boot sneakers or whatever you want to call them to go down, and when you went down to the ground floor to go to the one you knew, there was Asia in a maid outfit. Asia, why are you dressed like that?" you asked nervously, so that she just smiled to say. Asia, well, it was something that Akeno recommended me to use for cooking, she said with innocence, looking at you while you just blushed and looked away. Asia, there my dear San, if you knew that I bought it myself for your delight, she thought with a smile, but inside it was a twisted smile. Asia, what's wrong, San, don't you like me? If you don't like me I'll take it off, she asked, but you interrupted her, waving her hands. No, leave it on, it looks good on you, you said, even more nervous, so that she nodded happily, that you liked it. Asia, well, leaving that aside, look, San prepared your favorite food, she said, showing a bright smile that infected you, to proceed to sit you down, and she sat in front of you. You took a bite and your eyes lit up with excitement at the knowledge you felt, starting to eat faster, but you didn't notice his dark smile. At one point you felt something different and stopped eating, she just watched to say. Asia, something's wrong, San, why did you stop? You look so pretty, she said sweetly, and you looked at the plate for a moment to say. Asia-chan, what did you put in the food, you asked seriously, and she just smiled confused and then said. Asia, nothing, just some condiments, she said grimly, so that you would get scared when you got up, but when you were going to leave, you felt your whole body hot, you held your body, and you began to breathe heavily, and a blush appeared on your body, you looked around to look at Asia who was smiling sitting on the table. Asia, what's up, San, do you want water, do you want to go to bed or what, she said with a smile looking at you, and you were just confused, she received you happily, both of you started kissing, she only had her arms behind your neck. Inside her she was so happy, and when they were going to continue. The next day. The sun in Kuo was already rising, all the parents were going to their jobs, the students to their academies, the children were playing among many other things. But in the house, or rather a Poo mansion, the sun came in through the window, hitting a boy in the face. This was you, who was getting up, stretching ready for a new day, when you placed your hand on the bed. I said a person in bed. When you turned around you saw a lump in the bed, and you quickly uncovered yourself looking at Asia, and you realized two things. The first time you were both naked, the second time you got nervous, but even more so when you saw how he woke up, yawning and rubbing his eyes to see you still with your hand on his chest. She smiled to say. Asia-san likes to sleep very close, she asked with a smile looking at you, so you moved away nervously. Did we do something wrong, you said nervously, and she just hugged you to say happily. Asia, of course, last night we were just one, she said happily, and you were shocked by the impression, you didn't know how to react, and she noticed it. Asia, what's wrong, love, why aren't you answering? She said confused, so you took her by the shoulders surprisingly and said with your head down. I'm sorry for God, you said, but your head started to hurt and she just looked at you to say. Asia, ask God for forgiveness, she said seriously, but you were surprised to see that it didn't cause her pain when mentioning the biblical God. Wait, Asia, remember I'm a demon, I can't mention it, even if you can I can't, you said nervously, but she just grabbed your hands to put them together by force. Asia, I said ask God for forgiveness, she said with a dark voice, but you saw her eyes that had no shine, they seemed dead. You looked at her for a moment, you felt something, and that was fear, you were too afraid, and you didn't want to do it, but when you sighed to do it. Beija, oh but first she said, turning to open a small drawer on the nightstand and take out a ring, golden, and that had the letters your initial. Beija, I bought this necklace with the yen that Rias gave me for completing a mission or a contract, and I will give it to you after you apologize, but before she said happily to quickly steal a kiss from you, and you didn't do anything, you were with many uncontrolled emotions. Beija, ah your lips are the best, but well from now on you are only mine, she said with a chilling smile. Ooh, if not W what you said, scared, and she just looked at you to smile. Beija, or if it didn't happen, this said the first one and shouted the last one, standing on top of you and having a knife pointing at your face. Beija, you know how many things I've done for you, among all those things there was one in specific, kill any bitch that comes near you, she said with venom in her voice. You were scared, you didn't want to move a single muscle, you were trembling with fear. Beija, I was using rat poison to kill them, because those were rats that came for me, piece of cheese, which is only mine, all mine, she said coldly at first, but then sweetly giving kisses on your cheeks. Beija, Mo, what's wrong dear, why is your face so scared, she said with doubt looking at your scared face. Why, you are not the Asia that I love, you said scared so that she just shut up and her eyes were covered by her hair. As Asia we can talk th, you said, but you saw how she looked at the window with a smile. Asia, the day I saw you, I felt something, but I didn't pay attention to it. The other days that you were unconscious I took care of you the same, but I did something that I didn't even realize I was doing, and that was leaving marks on your neck. I always watched you sleep, she said, turning around with a smile, and you knew for some reason that she was totally angry. Asia, the day you woke up was the last day I saw you, you woke up, you thanked me, you walked to the church door without anyone seeing you, and you left. 2 days later I discovered that I was in love with you, and now you come to tell me that I'm not the one you love, she said, and started laughing madly. You were scared to death, you were shaking like jelly. Asia, haha, but now you will take the cell phone, she said, grabbing your cell phone and bringing it closer to you. Asia, you will call Rias and say that you want a part exchange, she said in a demanding voice, so that you looked at the cell phone to nod and grab it. But before calling Rias, a magic circle appeared in your ear. What's up? You said, trying to sound serious, but what they told you on the other side of the magic circle left you in shock. Asia smiled knowing what it was about. It's fine, you said with difficulty, but when you cut the call the tears came out. Asia, well since they told you, I can tell you, well a few days ago I found out that you had a partner and well, I couldn't leave the man of my life in a possible heartbreaker, she said with a cold voice, and you hardly thought about the worst. Asia, well the first thing I did was to kill her with holy water that the priests gave me once, and secondly, that's why I decided to punish you, she said, to touch your forehead, and memories came back to you, of how she nailed crosses to you, passed holy water over the cuts she made you, and regenerated you for your punishment. Asia, from now on you belong. Little Yandere. They first met on one of their missions and you were just passing by. You left her smitten by your beauty and your way of being. You were a very famous model, and she loved you like no one else, yes, a different way of loving. He has disobeyed Kakabiel more than once to go see you. They usually walk, eat or do things together, they are inseparable. You take her to everything, photo shoots, interviews, etc. She is very jealous and overprotective. He killed many girls during his relationship, not romantic, but friends. He always stays overnight at your house, you sleep together. The other day I found out you had a girlfriend. I don't know, I take it very well, let's say. He usually sleeps on your chest, his personal pillow. The other day you were asked to act in a movie as the protagonist and she just spoke nicely to the director and got the role of the protagonist's partner. She wanted you for herself, but there were too many people in the middle and even more supernatural ones. He asked Big Red for help to get power, and you know what he got it. I kill all the fallen angels. You were in Gregory at that time to kidnap you. He took you to an abandoned house and there he raped and corrupted you. If you from my life you can't escape me, love. Sekiryuutei Yandere. The context of history contains spoilers from the manga as well as this headcanon. Context of your story. You are a half vampire. When you receive damage, either physical or mental, a certain amount of time is activated. They met one day when you were facing another vampire and you faced Sekiryuutei. The fight between you and her had no end since Rias arrived. She was blown away, you made her feel something she'd never felt. Now she thinks she's in love with you, hahaha, what she feels is obsession with you. He sent several of his servants to catch you and they ambushed you to catch you. They took you with her and said that from that moment on you belonged to her. She takes you to all her workouts and let's just say you won't feel your arms or legs. They also have other types of training where you don't feel your body or you lose your arms or an eye. What he does most is lay you on his thighs and stroke your hair. You always sneak out to go out at night to the city in the human world. She murdered your best friend and the person you had fallen in love with. She usually forces you to kiss her. She cut off your leg for disobeying her that ended in a big fight. She tortures you frequently as a fair punishment for you, obviously she uses a seal that suppresses all your strength so you can't break the chains. He loves to look at you, especially if you just got out of the shower. Always in front of women he usually touches your private parts as a way of saying that you are his. The other day 3 dead maids were reported. It is suspected that it was Sekiryuutei. Since everyone suspected her, she decided to kill everyone and leave 2 fake bodies of the 2 to flee to a cabin in the woods. There they spent their whole lives together, they had children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, etc. for years and years, and you were still living with her, they hadn't even aged a bit. If Yufu is Hedorita of the Agares clan, I have the right to stay with you. Serzechs Lucifer Yandere searches Fem. Context of your story. In the underworld they usually call you the Incursio killer, you are experienced in the art of murder, but the bad thing about all this, you are the brother of Serzechs Lucifer, that is, you are Rias but a man. There is an image in the headcanon that is a spoiler for the Akane Georgia kill manga. She was nervous the day you were born, and that was even though she wouldn't give birth to anyone. When she received the news that the birth was a success, she came to see you and was fascinated by the little brother she had, and who doesn't. She promised that you would live in a world without war where you wouldn't go through what she went through in her childhood. He always tried to finish his work quickly or escape from it to see you. She's always the one who takes care of you, she doesn't want any maid to touch you, and if they do they appear dead the next morning. She loves to pamper you a lot, she wants you to know that everything you ask for is within your reach with her. You sleep a lot, that's why you never realize that she sees you sleeping. She's super jealous, that's why she never lets you get close to Serafall, she feels like it would take you away from her. Over the years she neglected you to the point that she no longer had time to see you, but when she went to see you one day she was given the news that you had gone to the human world. Time passed and you spent your time studying and she was just going crazy. In his state of madness he was not notified that you would marry Ravel Phoenix, the Phoenix heiress. Upon discovering this, he argued with his parents. When he saw you in the raiding game against Ravel, he saw how you used Incursio, a family heirloom that an ancestor used, but you evolved his armor. She was happy until she saw Issei hide you asking for your hand in marriage. You accepted, she had made you fall in love. She was losing her sanity, but with that she was no longer sane. She was now stalking you wherever you were, she had murdered her queen and friend Grayfia just because she wouldn't let her see you. She steals your clothes, things you don't use and watches you sleep every night. I killed the council members because they wanted to get you involved with more girls. From one day to the next the Trihexa and the war against the Cows Brigade arrived and you had evolved even further into Incursio and were in its 3rd evolution. You and Issei faced off against Trihexa, that made Serzechs very angry. You ended up unconscious because of the war and I took advantage of the opportunity. I killed all the girls in your harem at the time and their parents to escape. When you woke up she tortured you as punishment for being unfaithful to your wife. So years passed where you lived and fell in love with your own older sister. And you lived for years with her, the tyrant made you immortal and she drank Ophis' blood in the war which made her powerful and immortal. You could never escape. Now Nada, why are you trembling? I just want you to be happy by my side. There is a truck. Context of your story. You are a boy or rather a child of the Zoldyck clan who has been with the Asaka leader, you are her youngest son, you are known for always being with Kunu. They've known each other since they were kids. You saved her from being caught by fallen angels. They usually spend most of the day together. You idiot are too innocent for those games that Kuno recommends, kisses, caresses. She usually takes you everywhere, she doesn't want you to be with anyone, she just wants your attention. He watches you so much that it seems like you have no privacy. She often argues with the other girls. They are both the same age, 12 years old. He has a habit of kissing your neck and even biting you. One day I came home angry because of a dream where you were with someone else. You guessed this asshole. For a while you tried to get away, but she threatened you that if you walked away, you would see the blood fall from your family. She usually forces you to sleep next to her. She has murdered several girls, teenagers, even adults, married widows. One day her mother discovered what she was doing and it all ended in an argument, but Kunu killed her. She was enlisted to be queen, but she needed a king, you should already know who she chose. They forced you to marry her, you still won't admit that you love her. They lived many years, had children, grandchildren, etc., both died in the same place and were buried in the place where they met, a sakura tree in the center of a lake. Mayanada, come on, they were just some girls, there's no reason to cry over those bitches. Teenager. They met as children, they grew up together until one day you had to leave. She felt alone for years until one day they met again and that's when the bad stuff started. You are someone very well known for creating the best university in the world and in the supernatural you are known as the best swordsman. You usually spend a lot of time with Kunu or at your university, and let's say she doesn't like you giving more attention to your university. When you are with her you usually eat, walk, talk or go on dates together. She gives you many gifts. Many times she spends her time in her obligations as future leader of the Yokai faction, but tries to finish as quickly as possible. One day she found out that you had a girlfriend. That's when her sanity exploded. He tends to avoid his responsibilities to harass you. Your clothes disappear and especially your underwear, regardless of whether they are worn or not. She killed your girlfriend and kidnapped you. He tortures you with Yokai arts, suppresses your energy, burns your arms and legs. Years passed and he broke you mentally, so that both of you 2 days later are already on vacation in Miami. Ifufu, as my husband, I have the right to stay with you. I can't leave you with any home-wrecking cat. Well, I'm just going to say that I don't want to be doing this right now at my school. The stressed mother is free time. Rias Gremory Yandere. You were the third demon to appear, after Rias. She founded the Gremory clan, and you founded the Your Last Name clan. They spend time together, she doesn't let you go anywhere without her. He usually plays a lot of jokes on you, and you always fall for them. She's too naughty with you, especially if you're alone. In the war against God and Azazel, both survived. She kept her survival hidden and you didn't know anything. Well, she left her title to her son. He has your blood and decided to sleep so as not to age. You, not knowing anything about her, had a child with a girl from the secondary branch of your clan and gave your title to your son to disappear. In your clan you are immortal so you don't age. Years passed and she woke up once when Searches was a child and didn't see you, but when the war ended she went back to sleep with the sadness of not seeing you. When she woke up again she met Rias and Issei. She asked about you and they told her that they thought you were dead after a month of not finding you. She knew very well that you were not dead and she would look for you at all costs. He found you in a house on an island. You called it the Kame House. She didn't leave your side that day. She hugged you, she kissed you all over. When they told her that you had descendants she was very, very angry. She wasn't going to allow you to hang out with anyone who would hurt you. I punish you and very badly. She forced you to let her live with you and in your room, in your bed. She is very protective, she doesn't let any woman get close, only Rias, Venelana and Grayfia. She is the only one she has confidence. He usually makes a lot of jokes to women who approach you. He makes jokes that have to do with her and you. The surprising thing is that he lets you out. What you don't know is that he's watching you. You don't realize why you're asleep, but she's there. Your clothes disappear and you don't know the reason. You didn't notice a small hole in the wall. She knows how to cook very well and has some condiments that will make you dream literally. The other day he went crazy because you were chatting with a woman. She appeared in front of your door dead. He loves being petted, it's his way of relaxing. You woke up in the basement, the reason telling him you had a partner. I murder your partner in the next room. She tortured you bloody, made cuts and put lemon on them, stuck knives in non-vital areas, used fire, wind and earth magic. You were there for half a year and you didn't give up. She used a seal to control you and you ended up falling for her. They got married 2 months later, had 3 children, 2 girls, 1 boy. She forced you to sleep with her for eternity, waking and sleeping for years. Come on, love, it was just 2 girls. They wanted to take you away from me and I had to act. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.